You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. We are so happy to have you here today. You are watching USA Global TV and you are listening in on Business Talk Radio. I'm your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. And this show is In the Name of Love. This is a special edition of this show. And my co-host, Kimmy Seltzer, is on holiday today. We have a very special guest who is joining us. Her name is Donia Youssef, and she is an award-winning author and film producer. Let's welcome her to the program. Hi, welcome. Nice to see you.
Lovely to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm over in London in the UK. So over the other
we have
side.
A lot of new friends in the UK. So lovely, wonderful people there. So I'm grateful that you're here. I know you have quite a story yourself and you have a lot that's been going on there in your world. So thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before we delve into your background and all the amazing accomplishments you have, when you think about In the Name of Love, what comes up for you?
Love is something that we all should be sharing and something that all of us have inside us, which is free to share. So there isn't really an excuse, not to be able to love, and some people who maybe are slightly unhappier in this world, they need more love, So I'm a strong believer of acceptance, kindness, showing support, especially to the weaker ones of society. And, just we're all equal, in my opinion, and everyone, deserves to feel empowered. And that's who I am, really, and just create awarenesses to help and support everyone. And, in an ideal world to have happiness, love, and peace.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'd love to understand how you got involved in film production and also how you became an award-winning author. We just had a show on before this, and we talk a lot about the entertainment industry. And the focus of that interview was how it needs to be more inclusive and there needs to be more diversity. And so as a woman, how did you get involved in the industry and what was your experience like?
I touched the industry about, 10 years ago now. And I set up a modeling and acting agency. So I was quite heavily involved with the film world, the TV commercials. I had a lot of actors and models on my agency, and my children were involved as well. So I met a lot of people, connected with a lot of people. And yes, that was kind of my first company, which was really exciting. A lot of hard work, but it was good fun, and it obviously served its purpose. Unfortunately, I got ill whilst I was the owner of the agency, and I got diagnosed with cancer, and it was a long journey. There was I faced death on multiple occasions. However, I'm just here to share my story in hope that others will be able to take something away from this today. So how I landed in the film production, actually personally myself, I started writing books once I was going through my cancer treatment. So I was going through the chemo and I just wanted to document everything. I had 2 very young children. I had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old at the time. And it was a long haul for all of us. And then seeing a lot of these Facebook groups, which were the private groups with, parents and families really, really struggling. And to me, I'm just such a huge empath, and I just hate seeing people suffering. So I just felt I just had to bring something to the table, which is useful, a tool or something to help others. And with cancer, predominantly, with 1 in 2 people now are being diagnosed. These are the statistics they're stating in our lives. It's a very high ratio. So it's something all of us, I'm sure, know somebody, if not ourselves, who are currently going through it. So I did a lot of research. Obviously, my children were my little crutches, and they really helped guide me on the questions, I guess, which every mother dreads to answer. But you kind of adapt this a different kind of mentality, and you go very practical. And I just wanted to get all my thoughts out. It was a therapy for myself as well, just to get the visuals and the vision and the feelings out on paper. It was like an outlet for me at the time, which hugely helped. And then my creative self, I wanted to include the children, because we were all part of this. Anyway, we moved on. I mean, there's a lot. I'll probably be here all night, but a lot has gone on. And but I didn't let that beat me down. There were times I didn't think I was going to make it, but my kids, my family, I got that drive from somewhere, and it pushed me through. And then I did the writing, and I just hadn't written a book before, but I reached out and I just asked, is there anyone out there who would be able to help me publish the book? And thankfully, a friend called Phil Shan, he came forward and he said, look, Donia, I'll be able to help you. So we met up while I was still going through my treatment. And we kind of, things materialized very, very quickly. I wrote the first book. It became an Amazon bestseller within 48 hours. And I realized then that this was something, what people really needed. So I found that gap in the market because there wasn't that much out there at the time. And once I got the book published, it was like, great. I really want to help others now, who have been in my situation. I was grateful to get put into remission. So that was really amazing news. But I just still felt like my purpose wasn't fully served. So I offered the platform, and I still help other survivors or family members or anyone who just, wants to share their story, to empower them and give them a platform that actually anything is possible. So I launched my own publishing company. It's now called Monster Publishing. And I've expanded, and I do a lot on awareness campaigns. So that's where my passion is. And I really strongly believe that always follow your passion and everything else will flow. Sort of going after, sort of chasing money or chasing things, which are not real. I honestly don't think that's, well, it's definitely not the right way for me. So I decided, after I launched my publishing company, I had some film producers come forward actually and ask would I consider making my book into a movie. So obviously I hadn't thought of that, but with that new vision as such, I then became very, very engrossed in it. And I have made incredible contacts all around the world, actually. And I've got my first movie going into production next year.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's all going pretty amazing. It's been a little bit like a whirlwind, and then I started. I just wanted to go back to the fundamental roots of, children suffering, and my children were suffering whilst their mummy was, going through their chemotherapy, and mummy was ambulance pretty much every single week for about 6 months, had to come blue light me to the hospital for various things, including sepsis, where I was back in intensive care. But all which broke me was my kids, and I just couldn't, I got angry with the cancer because it was like, my children don't deserve this. So then I started writing a lot after this for children, on really positive mental health and how to overcome traumatic issues in life, or where to channel those feelings, because children are affected and they can't process their emotions like us adults. And my youngest was 2 and was just very angry with me, and that broke my heart, and it was just really sad. It was something, in life you feel, it's not following the protocol of how a family should grow up as such. I was oblivious to it, and it taught me a huge lesson that actually none of us can take life for granted. None of our days are guaranteed, whatever age you are. Obviously, I was still in my 30s, and I was fit and healthy and didn't drink, didn't smoke. And I just, it just baffled me, just surprisingly coming across a diagnosis, which, never in a million years I expected. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that none of us are invisible. Anything can happen to any one of us, and to be really appreciative of people and life. And once again, don't take people for granted, show compassion and love, and, just be that kind person. My mother always used to say to me as a child, if you you treat people how you'd like to be treated. And that's always stuck to me. And, I would never be unkind to people. I would just, simply walk away or show them more love. And that's where I'm trying to encourage others, and including some of my family members and friends. It's, two wrongs never make a right. We have to sometimes show others, and support others who maybe process their emotions slightly different to others, and we all do. So with that in mind, I then started channeling my energy into writing children's books, but giving that underlying hidden meaning. And obviously I had to touch on it very, very sensitively. I can appreciate children are watching films and reading books without their parents. So, obviously I've done a lot of research into obviously the child psychology, and had child psychologists read over. So then I thought, actually, Disney, with the Disney movies, there's someone in Disney movie that has always passes. So it's how you deliver and tell a story. And that's where I've gone. And I've now got a second a TV series, which has been picked up by a Canadian studio, which is going to be an animation kids TV series on positive mental health, and really showing these kids, giving them the tools to be able to overcome, their issues, whether they're toddlers and they can't cope, or whether they're a bit older. There's a whole range of movies and books that I write, which predominantly are catered, for the preschoolers, right through, to the adults. So, I've kind of niched myself up into this producer as such, where I just want to focus on really meaningful campaigns. And, rather than, these kids constantly on, the iPads and the shooting and the games. And it's like, oh, come on, it's going a little bit too that way. And I think there's a lot of aggression in this world. And, it's just breaks my heart kind of seeing things. So, I try to make a difference. I'm kind of been a little lone wolf for a while. But I'm teaming up with lots of people around me at the moment, which is really amazing. And it's
really amazing. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to interrupt you, but there's so much that we could unpack there and discuss because what you've been through is unbelievable. So I want to start to unpack a little bit of that, if that's okay, and do that after we take a break. How does that sound?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, stay with us. We're going to listen to some of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Donia, who has much more to share with us on In the Name of Love.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You are watching In the Name of Love. My guest today is Donia Youssef, and she, in her first segment, shared how she was diagnosed with cancer. She was healthy and fit and strong, and this diagnosis came completely out of nowhere. And she had young children and what she went through, and through all of that, what she's created as an award-winning author and film producer. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned before we went to the break, there's so much that you shared today. We could have a show for each of these topics because they're really important and they really need focus. And when you look at mental health awareness, this is something that you're very passionate about and you're conveying it through your work. So let's pick up a little bit there if we could.
Yeah, absolutely. Mental health is obviously a huge passion and something I really heavily get involved with. Unfortunately, I had to witness and be part of a suicide, which was my sister. So she was a year older than me, and she unfortunately took her life at the age of 26, and she jumped off a building. So she knew, bless her heart, she was going, and it was obviously, it's something, you never get over. So she left her 2 children, which obviously my parents now obviously have taken the time to bring up over the years. And it was just back then, it was 15 years ago now, so it was a long time ago. But it's still, in my opinion, it hasn't really changed. And, there's so many people I know who have committed suicide, friends, and friends of friends and young children. And, it's just so heartbreaking. And I just really feel like something really needs to be brought to the table. I'm actually in talks with my local MP to try and develop like a venue where people who are really suffering and can only see life as their way out, should we say. And I want to bring something completely new and fresh and dynamic. The mental hospitals, obviously I've got firsthand, experience with that with my sister. And it was horrendous. And I get, it's a really hard topic for people to really understand fully the mind. But, it's just some people, it's very traumatic for them, being sectioned in a hospital. So I wanted to bring something like really magical, instead of these, white walls. Even when people go to counseling, you're kind of, you feel like a bit of a criminal. You're against these white walls, and you've got just a chair, and you're just speaking directly to that one person. It's just, not the most relaxing, So I've got some incredible ideas that I'm working on with a little team behind me as well, or alongside me, should we say. And I'm really, really pushing to bring something which hopefully eventually will stop the amount of suicides which happen, which doesn't get talked about at all. And, you know, there's a lot more than people anticipate. And I just, you know, it just breaks my heart. They say 1 in 20 people in just the UK alone have, you know, these suicidal thoughts. So it's, again, it's a you know, a huge capacity of people. But I feel with the social media, which is new, I mean, you know, when I was 18, I didn't have social media. There was no social media. There was no mobile phones. So I think we're developing, you know, we're utilized social media obviously properly. You know, it could be a huge advantage to everyone. So I've just, really focusing. I write predominantly a lot on mental health. I brought out a book called Let Your Truth Set You Free, which is a book on actual stories on real life survivors who have tried to kill themselves. They have gone through absolute, you know, hell in their lives, you know. Some, you know, their lives have been pretty normal, and but they're still, you know, they can't see a way out of their own head and their own traumas. So I wrote this, well, I got everyone included in this book actually, and they wrote all their stories. And actually, you know, they were just felt so empowered, and it was just so nice for them to all be able to share and actually read each other's stories. And some of them actually got in touch with the others because they'd been through similar. So actually, it wasn't so alien to them. They didn't feel some of those feelings because they knew actually that there's other people out there who were going through the same things. So that's me. It's just, you know, all inclusive. You know, no one can judge, or no one should judge anyone. And, you know, all of us, no one knows when anyone's minds are going to go. No one knows what's going to happen in life. People need to learn to accept, be kind, and once again, you know, show love and support. And, you know, there's some unkind things, and, you know, there's a lot of this cyberbullying as well, which obviously doesn't help. And that all drives to suicide as well. So I just think with bringing, you know, people and driving a lot of goodness in this world, you know, it will obviously all come back as well. And it's just, you know, educating people. You know, some people haven't had like fortunate lives, or, you know, they've you know, they've been adopted, or, you know, they've had troubles in their life, and, you know, everyone, in my opinion, in every single family has had some level of, you know, upsetting or trauma. Some people more than others, but again, it's like how you as a person develop, how you as a person can make a difference. And, you know, hopefully, you know, one day everyone will be in a more equal, happier place. And that's where I really thrive to be. Obviously, I've been through a lot of trauma. And, you know, I was totally against going to see a counselor myself even. And I was like, I don't want to. I think the first counsellor I went to, because my mother was like, Donia, come on, you know, you and Sarah, she was like my twin, my sister who committed suicide, you know, you were so close, you know. But I was like, you know, the first counsellor I went, you know, she was upset, you know, at things which obviously went on in my life. And I just thought from that, I don't want to speak to anyone, you know, I don't. And so I actually then decided to do a diploma in counselling. Again, it was to help myself, but to also help others as well. I've always kind of adapted this, you know, this kindness and love, and people are saying, "Oh, Donia, you know, you can be so soft," and yeah, I can, but that's just me, and I'll never change, and I'll always try my best to deliver, you know, a kind-hearted person.
I'm just totally blown away by your story and your transparency, and I really respect you for sharing it the way that it was for you, because I think that will help people come forward. And I think the way that you're able to channel your experience through the creative process is really amazing. I didn't ask you this before, but if you're able to, I'll take us to a break. Would you be able to read from your books for us?
Of course.
All right, beautiful. I'll take us to a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll be very glad to hear you read. So stay with us. We're going to watch a beautiful video called by the debutantes. It's called Paradise, and it's Victoria and Lavinia. You can follow them over on Instagram. Let's take a look, and then we'll be right back with Donia. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listen to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You're watching In the Name of Love. I am your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and my guest today is Donia Youssef. In our second segment, we talked about mental health awareness, the importance of being kind to others, and Donia shared very vulnerably that her own sister committed suicide, leaving behind her children. And through all of this, Donia has managed to forge ahead and be a beacon of light for others as an award-winning author and film producer. And I asked her if she would be kind enough to read from her books when we return. So that's where we are now. How do you feel? Are you ready to read?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll read you my latest book. It's just been published, called Crystal Kingdom. And Crystal Kingdom is about two children who mummy's sick, and they go on a little journey, or Jack, the little boy, goes on a journey to hopefully find answers and find love and support to be able to heal his mummy the way he feels he can. So I'll just read you a couple of pages from this book. But it's just a really beautiful story, a little magical story. Again, showing others that with kindness and love and support, beautiful things can happen. Okay, so I'll just read a couple of pages towards the end. There are many choices in life, said one angel, as they stood with hundreds of other angels. They all stood in a protection circle around Charlotte and Jack. Some lead to happiness, and some lead to sadness. And sometimes we cannot always control things. In the journey of life, there can be many twists and turns. And when you come to a fork in the road, you often will have to decide which route to take. Now you want the healing crystals. You have made a choice to help those you love. So we will help you, said the angel. So again, this is highlighting to the children that, if you want to do kind and lovely things, lovely, kind things will also come back to you. The angels gave Jack and Charlotte a beautiful rose quartz wand for love and healing the heart, an amethyst crystal for protection, and the powerful clear quartz crystal for harmony and clearing negative energies. Before you leave with them, you must bathe crystals in the selenite crystal flame of healing. Only then will they have the power to help your loved ones. Go in peace, love, and light, little children. Jack and Charlotte held each other's hands as they stepped along. And get the images up. They're so beautiful, the images. But just have a quick. And they stepped along the crystal-lined road, heading towards a beautiful green hill with a bright beacon on top. Finally, upon reaching the peak, they held out their crystals to the eternal selenite crystal flame of healing. Then slowly the crystals began growing brighter and brighter until suddenly both Jack and Charlotte cried out for joy. It worked! Our crystals are full of healing energy and life. Charlotte beamed with joy and excitement. And now it was time for them to return home. And all the people of the magical Crystal Kingdom came to bid them farewell. The angels waved and took Jack and Charlotte by the hand. They all leapt down into the sea below, way down deep. The dolphins and Angelica the mermaid guided them back to the docks, where they emerged, wet but very happy and full of excitement. There they got on Charlotte's bicycle and cycled home. Once Jack and Charlotte had returned home, they presented their loved ones with the healing crystals. Suddenly, Jack's mum's pale face turned beautifully healthy, and she was full of life again. Charlotte's sister smiled and felt so much better than before. Their families thanked Jack and Charlotte for risking so much for them, and both children knew they would one day return to the magical Crystal Kingdom, where magical, wonderful things happened every day.
Aw.
So there's lots before that on the dark side of what happens.
It's beautiful.
I just wanted to bring the love and the positivity today.
How do you feel when you're reading?
Oh, they're just like, they're all like my babies, my books. So it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just love it. I just literally just fills me with so much joy. And that's what I'm trying to share with others, that just delve into whatever you love doing and just eliminate fear, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Push yourself. If anything's scary, I've faced death many a times. It's nothing is as scary as that. And I just thought, actually, there's so many things and opportunities out there now with the internet. You know, you can educate yourself, you can learn, you know, come to me if you want to write a book. You know, there's so many things that are out there to help us now, that anything is possible. You know, I didn't have a university degree. Obviously, I went to a very, very good private school, so I was very fortunate. But it just shows you don't always need those things. You know, just be resourceful, think outside the box, you know, and focus and love absolutely everything you do. And, you know, things will then manifest into whatever you want. It's just keeping your mind focused and positive and channeling your energy, whether it's negative, whatever, and, you know, channeling it into something so productive, and stopping yourself, you know, when any of those dark thoughts come in. You know, even just saying, you know, you're no good for me, just, you're not allowed in my space, go away. And then our minds are so powerful that we are capable of achieving anything we want to. And, you know, we have got all the resources now to be able to do so.
Wow. I have to give you a round of applause again, because that's why we do this show. That's why we have this platform for people to come forward and be authentic and transparent like you, and give people incredible hope. We do have a comment. This I showed before. I'm not sure who this is from, because it must be in our private group, so you have to give us permission. Also, we have from Diane Bain, the lovely Diane. A beautiful story of hope. Donia, you are a beautiful spirit. Keep writing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. So what's next for you?
Gosh, I'm focusing on developing this. I want to bring like a beautiful like hospital, rather than a kind of hospital for, you know, for people who've tried to commit suicide and are sectionable. You know, somewhere like really beautiful. And I've got all my ideas where I want to go with it, but somewhere that people will go as a little retreat of happiness and can get better, rather than being scared in dark places. My next is focusing obviously on my movies. The Monster and Mummy was the first book I wrote, and Monster and Mummy is going into production June next year. So I'll be quite heavily focused. Obviously, I'm producing, co-producing with a friend, and then I will be moving on to my animations and my kids' TV series. So, yeah, I mean, I just go with the flow. You know, there's no protocol to my kind of life. I just, whatever I feel, I just go with. Or, you know, I even wrote a book on parents splitting up, because my parents split up last year, and they've been married for like 50 years, and that broke my heart. So again, I channeled my energy into writing a book. But,
Donia, I have a question for you. And I'm sorry about your parents. I just keep thinking you've so much that you've had to deal with. How does someone go from writing a book to having that be made into a film? How does that work for people?
Well, I've now launched my own film production company. It's the film world's an eye opener, should we say? I think I was fortunate enough to have the contacts in the film industry anyway, and obviously I know quite a lot of contacts, so it was an easier transition for me. But I know it's really difficult out there, and it's very, people struggle to even get scripts in front of even producers. But anyone who has a story out there, or who's been through trauma, or feels that they would like to bring something to the screen, please do reach out to me. And I'm very, very happy. I'm judging an awards, a screenplay awards. Currently, actually. So yeah, I'm very, very happy if anyone wants to reach out to me. My website is www.monster-productions.com, and I'd be very happy. Obviously, if it falls under my slate as such and something I could help you develop, I'm here. I'm here to help or point you in the right direction. We've all got to start somewhere. And, we all need guidance and support. So if that's something which really would make you happy, or leave a legacy behind, or you want, some pointers, again, I'd be very, very, very happy to help. And, that's one thing with me, I get my buzz off helping others now. And I feel like, the man upstairs, has given me a second chance in life, and I'm really appreciative, and I just have now got this thirst for life, and I'm here to help as much as I can. So please do reach out to me, and anything I can do, I'll sure be there to help.
That is so wonderful. Thank you. Quick question, just so you're not overwhelmed with people reaching out, about you producing a movie about their book. Is that something that people should reach out to you for?
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I'm only focusing predominantly on awareness campaigns. So if there's anything you feel that needs to be made aware, it can be obviously any topics. So, but that's where I'm going, and I want to obviously keep the platform there. So if there's any stories or books on anything you feel that would fit into this category as such, please do reach out.
Fantastic. Thank you for clarifying that. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Again, your banner has been streaming throughout the show, but for people who are on the radio, if you can just give your contact information once again, I'd really appreciate it. Donia, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, I said so for people who are on the radio and they can't read the banner, can you just once again give your contact information slowly?
Apologies. Yes, of course. So my website is www.monster-productions.com, and all my details are on there as well for the books, if you wish to write a book. Or if you have a book and you're keen on taking it to the screens, again, please do come forward. I'm very happy to take a look. Obviously, I'll try my best to read whatever I physically can, but obviously it may take a little time. So, but I will promise I'll get back to all if I can. And just keep shining, everybody. Push yourself, do whatever you desire, and you know what? Let's just make this whole world a beautiful, happier place.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story today. It's really just so touching, and you give people hope. You give people incredible hope based on what you've gone through and how you keep on going forward. So thank you, and I wish you continued success and excellent health.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for reaching out to Donia. If you feel that she can help you in any way, I think she's more than happy. Our next show coming up is It's All About Dating with my co-host Lori Mendelson, and our guest is Amanda Rose. And then we'll finish off the day with A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. And we have 3 experts presenting today. We have Hyatt Ives, Mariska Duprier, and Red O'Laughlin. If you would like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go to drjacalyn.com. My name is right there, drjacalyn.com. Book your session. Go across the top where the different tabs are and just go to book your session, and all of our shows are right there. Thank you so much. Really enjoy having you here. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.